The pendulum effect of 2025 is that three planets are going to swing partway through the year into new signs. This is Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. And they haven't visited these signs since the 1990s, the 1940s, and the mid 1800s, respectively. So they're going to spend a few months in those new signs, giving us a sneak preview of the second half of the decade.
Hello, USU listeners. Happy New Year. Yay. By the time you're listening to this, while we are recording this in the Sagittarius season, I have to say, it is now New Year's for everyone listening. And this is one of my most favorite conversations of the year, Ophi. And we're sending love to Tali, who's getting over a little cold. It's okay.
Who isn't?
Who isn't? Exactly. I just love this conversation. We're going to be talking about, for those who are watching on YouTube, you can see the video, the amazing new book, The Astrology Advantage. I love this book. We're also going to talk about some important things to know for this year, 2025, from your astrological wisdom. And I'm excited. This is one of my favorite convos because we just get all this good, juicy info about the year ahead. It's so fun.
I love it. And I feel like we're on year 3 of doing this, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like it's an annual tradition now for us during our Sag season. So
yes.
I love it. I love it so much.
We're both all three of us are Sages. And I always was like, I'm like, we've got to record in Sag season. That's like a thing. So this is our new, our new like tradition.
Totally.
I love it. Let's just out of the gate. I think before we dive in, because your book, there is so much wisdom in here. I know inquiring minds are like, all right, what is going to happen this year? Like, what are the stars? What are the planets? What is the astrology that you've been researching? And what can we count on? What are you seeing? What are the thoughts, the theme for the year? I'm going to just zip it so you can share and I'll take notes.
Yeah. Well, before we talk about the Astrology Advantage book, all the themes are in this 2025 book, which, according to my camera, it's probably the year 0252. But so this picture kind of sums it up. We have called 2025 the year of the divine pendulum, because three major slow-moving, what are called? Oh, there you go.
Of course, I just have
got
one.
your divine pendulum right
Just
there. So
happens to have one.
of course. I mean,
course.
that's how it is for some of us.
Right.
Never be far from your pendulum. So the pendulum effect of 2025 is that three planets are going to swing partway through the year into new signs. This is Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. And they haven't visited these signs since the 1990s, the 1940s, and the mid 1800s, respectively. So they're going to spend a few months in those new signs, giving us a sneak preview of the second half of the decade. Then they're going to finish up their journeys through Pisces, Taurus, and Pisces, and go back. So how we start the year is going to be kind of disrupted or pendulumed into a new energy, and then we're going to finish the year with like almost like we leave home and venture out into this new world, and then we come back home to apply what we learned, and then we go back out for the long haul. So it's a transitional year. It's a 9-year in numerology, which is the end of and how you get that is you add up the numbers. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, 4 and 5 is 9. So in numerology, the numbers go from 1 to 9. And so we're finishing up a 10-year cycle and starting a new one in 2026. So it's showing up in all these ways. It's also the year of the wood snake, which is a very kind of a time to be stealthy and strategic, growing and building, but not, this 2024 was the year of the dragon. The wood dragon was very fiery and blustery and yang and, aggressive growth and a lot of, just like what we saw with people, just like, don't trample on my, felt like we were all in New Hampshire. Don't tread on me, like everyone was kind of like breathing fire at everybody else to get what they wanted. So we'll still be trying to plant seeds and grow things, but it's going to be more from a perspective of like just the snake, the observe before you strike instead of breathing fire. So those are some kind of top notes for the year ahead. Lots more in the book.
Yes. And I that definitely get that book. It's beautiful. I'm like, that is something going on my list immediately when we're done because I want to go
Oh,
through it.
good.
In terms of this, okay, the year of the divine pendulum, it's so funny. I was like, oh, I use a pendulum. I talk
I
about it.
love
I'm
it.
like, I have a feeling you also mean like in terms of energy or meaning
Hmm.
we're going to be swinging with different experiences, circumstances. I'm being
Yeah.
very general. Would you say what you're seeing is like, where do we start? Where does it go to? So we're just kind of
Hmm.
thinking
Yeah.
out of the gate, where can we expect this pendulum? How high?
Yeah.
My
Yeah, we're
brain's like,
starting with these three planets in Pisces and Taurus, which are more earth and water, kind of
okay.
more yin signs as they would be thought of in the zodiac. And they're going to these yang signs, Aries and Gemini. So Uranus in Gemini was from 1941 to 49 last. It was the atomic age. It was also the age of World War II. Neptune is going from Pisces into Aries. That was the time of the Civil War last time. So that's not to sound the alarm, but I mean, we're already in a time of war. But it's war, it's innovation, which if you look at history, I mean, it's not stuff that we, healer types like to talk about that much, but it's realities of the world that we are, the planet we're trying to change and make more compassionate. War and innovation often go hand in hand. It would be nice if it didn't have to work that way. It doesn't have to work that way, but we are we're also in what I think of as the real age of Aquarius because on November 19th, 2024, Pluto entered Aquarius for 20 years, really 19. But that doesn't matter. Same diff. 2043, 44, it's leaving. And Pluto is a great transformer. It's been in Capricorn since 2008. And Capricorn is a sign of government, business, hierarchies, the patriarchy. So it's been really reforming that, exposing what isn't working there, but we're seeing power abuses, but also shifts. I mean, I think some very significant elections, two female candidates running, you know, Obama, Trump, Biden, Hillary, Clinton, Harris. It was just like, what a time of politics and everything. So that's now over. That only happens every 254 years. Now we're entering Pluto and Aquarius again. Last time it was there 1778 to 98, right after the Declaration of Independence was signed and when the U.S. the Supreme Court was founded, the U.S. Mint, the dollar. So all of these institutions that we think of as America were founded the last time. So will they last? Will they be permanently altered? Aquarius also rules technology. We see AI and everything coming in. So what I'm really getting is that consciousness and technology are both expanding really quickly. And we're kind of needing to download new information, knowledge, skills to process and keep up with all of it. So,
Mm. Aquarius
yeah.
being an air sign and obviously ruling from what I mean, you know way more, but I have a rising Aquarius. Been
Oh,
learning about
wow.
it, and it's like big thinking and, as you
Hmm.
said, innovation, technology, new thought, new ways.
Exactly. It's the new thought era. And
Yeah.
I just met an Aquarius yesterday who's got some whole institute of how we can intentionally expand consciousness on a mass. I was like, this sounds really cool and so right on point for the time that we're in now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready for some of it, but also like, oh boy.
Yeah.
I think we're always scared of the unknown, but one day we just live one day at a time and then all of a sudden it's happened. But progress isn't giving us as much of a window to catch up with it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people feel overwhelmed.
I think this is like, it's so funny in my brain. I just saw like, cue your book. Like, let's bring your book on stage
Yes.
because this is important because each of us, no matter what the pendulum is doing, the greater pendulum, we all have divine will. We have free will. We have our charts. We have this information that you've explained that you're going to go through where we can decide, each of us individually, okay, I'm going to choose to be in alignment with my. I don't want to give it away because you have these beautiful archetypes and this whole I am system. But I love this
Mhm.
because it's like, yes, and we can each really be empowered to do our part. And to me, that pendulum, I've been doing a lot of deep study around moving from duality to non-duality. And I think that starts with each of us getting that oneness in ourselves. That's a whole other conversation. I just
Mm.
love what you've shared here. What inspired you to write, for you both to write this book? And let's talk about the I am system, the archetypes. But what inspired you? Because this to me was
Yeah.
different than your other books and was, I'm just holding it up. It's so beautiful and it's like really
You.
fun to read through.
And I'm going to shout out Tali, who designed the cover.
Oh,
Um,
wow. She did a great job. It's beautiful.
yeah. So well, I was inspired because I noticed over the 30 years that I've been using astrology that it's like has a marketing problem. It's like this incredible ancient system that can go very deep and wide. So people get really excited and then they get overwhelmed. I find that for myself with human design too. Like like someone show me how to use this fully. I don't want to just use the fact that I'm a generator or seek. I actually want to use the whole thing, but I haven't been able to bridge into the study of it. And maybe if I think I'm at the point where I would need a private teacher. So people reach that point. They have an app maybe where they can, and they you can learn stuff. It's not I almost want to say rocket science. Yes, it is. Astrology is rocket science. But but it was just people were getting frustrated because they're like, I want to use my chart. I cannot remember. I have too much in my brain. So it's like, let's tap into an astrology shortcut that's called the chart dominance. What composition of your chart has fire, earth, air, or water planets? And then the zodiac is also classified into something called the modalities, which is like a personality test. They're called cardinal, fixed, and mutable. It's like the four signs at start every season. Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn are the cardinal ones. We gave them a new name, Innovator. Then the mid-season signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, are the fixed signs, are very rooted. So the innovators kind of start everything off, plant the seed. The fixed signs, which we call the authorities, to express their essence, are kind of the farmers, the tenders, the cultivators, the producers. And then the four end of the season signs are like the marketers, the gatherers, the like, okay, you harvested it. Now I'm going to make a meal and invite the whole village to eat around the table and spark up some great conversations. Those are the mutable signs: Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, Virgo, and we call them the mavens. Now, you and I are both Sagittarius, so our sun sign is a maven sign, but what we did to get the dominant energy of the chart so that it would be, I noticed that people could remember their Enneagram or remember their Myers Briggs type or their power animal or something. So I was like, how can we get astrology to work like this? So we took 13 parts of the chart: your sun, moon, rising, all the planets, and the lunar nodes, which are the destiny points. We felt that those were important. And made a little calculator with a fellow astrology site owner, AstroSeek, that just would immediately crunch all 13 parts of the chart into one of the dominant archetypes, tell you which one you were. And then we wrote the book so you could follow along and learn how to apply it to every part of your life. So even though I'm a Sagittarius and so are you, I'm an innovator because I have 6 of my placements in the innovator signs, 4 in authority and 3 in maven. And you're the flip of me. You're a maven. You're actually 3, 4, 6. And anyone who's listening or watching can go to astrostyle.com/IAM, IAM, and put in your time, date, and place of birth, just like if you were doing a birth chart, and you'll you'll find your archetype. You can also go to the next level we have on there where it'll bring in the elements too. So yeah.
So cool. Well, we did it and I was like, wait, what? What is this like Maven? Like, it's so cool. It's so cool. Everyone needs
Yeah.
to do this. I'll have the links just so if you're listening or you're driving, I gotcha. It'll be in
Yeah.
show notes and description. So if just to bring it, innovator, you said the authority
Hmm.
and the maven. Can you
Hmm.
once again just give a quick
Yeah.
overview of what that is,
Yeah.
the
So the
difference?
innovator is a person who has mostly cardinal signs in their chart, the
Okay.
ones that start the season. And so they have these are called the modalities or qualities because you have the qualities of the beginning of a season. You love things that are new. You like to invent things or like me being an innovator. I'm like, let me invent an astrology system. Or I didn't invent the chart dominance, but I invented a way that you could remember it. Like that was exciting to me. They're pioneering, they're trailblazing. They like the beginning of things, not always the ending. Everybody has a role. And by the way, if you're low on one or have none of one element or modality, that also is information that you can use. You can try to consciously cultivate that within yourself. So, the authorities are kind of like what you would think that the steady mid-season, like making sure we get through the season. All right, thanks innovators for the big ideas, but how are we going to actually make this work? So authorities, they like structure. They like routines and rules and certainty and to know where things are, security, because they have to get up and milk the cows every morning, metaphorically speaking. So, and we all need each other. Like I need my authorities because they help make sure that my ideas come to life. But and each one has a strength and a weakness. Like the innovator can be too out there, too ahead of their time, and like no one gets it until 10 years later. The authorities can be too stagnant, stuck, set in their ways, rule following. So but they're also, without them, we'd have nothing would get done. And then the mavens are the ones who end the season, they're fun. They're like you said, content pours out of you. Mavens are often creators, media makers, hosts, writers, podcasters, YouTubers, all of those things. But they're the multi-hyphenates. They wear all the different hats. They, make the fusion of everything. And they're the ambassadors. Like, because an innovator could come up with a cool idea, an authority could build it, but it might get trapped in the ivory tower if the maven doesn't come and bring it out to the masses and teach people how to use it. Like if you think of like a big conference center, like where there's like demos and everything. I'm thinking about like a summit or a conference. The mavens are the ones explaining and teaching and educating, and selling. Yeah, so that's everyone has a role.
We all have a role. I love this. I want to say, my husband is so an authority. You have to
Oh yeah, I
you
bet.
have to write in the comments when you're watching. What do you think you are before doing it, Hess? And what are you? We'll have to see what people say. Definitely let us know. But I'm thinking
Yeah.
this is a great tool. We have been really. I used to teach the Myers Briggs, so I'm really familiar
Oh,
with
cool. Oh my
Myers Briggs
gosh.
type. And when you're often, have a preference for extroversion, how do you cultivate more inner silence? And I'm thinking I've done that with my husband, with couples in the past. This is such a great tool, Ophi, to
Yeah.
use with if you have a partner or a close friend or children or your parents or people in your life. Like, wait a minute, because I'm really I'm like, oh my God, this sounds like
I
my
love that you're thinking that.
conversation.
Well, in the
Yeah.
Astrology Advantage, we have a section on parenting, on relationships, on team building,
Yes.
communication, career, time management. So we
Yes.
came up with a secondary name in relationships that the innovator is the idealist, the authority is the attacher. They want that secure attachment, and the maven is the mirror. So
Mm.
there's these, I mean, I can talk about the different dynamics that come up between them too. But
Yeah.
yeah, like the innovator wants this perfect legendary love or nothing at all, but they don't always think through the reality of it. And the authority wants things to kind of just like the family gathers around the Christmas tree or the menorah here, and the
Right.
maven wants someone to talk to. So what could happen with an authority and a maven is that they'll listen, but they'll give you advice. And you're like, no, 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 I want some imago feedback, not you to act like you've got it all figured out and judge me because I'm an experimental maven and I
Yeah.
don't want to do it your way. Thanks. Just so you have to be careful not to polarize and but
Yeah.
to know that know the other person's strength, come into their world, but but
Yeah.
also like let them be who they are.
Absolutely. I love this. I just think anytime we have a grounded tool to help in conversation communication, you know, I, my husband and I talk about this stuff all the time. I'm going to be, and I was reading and I'm like, I need to bring this to him and have him read it. That's what we need to do next. I'm going to I just always have
Awesome.
I always have homework. I'm like, here you go. Now we're going to read this.
Yeah. Well,
Which-
honestly, men have actually responded to this system very positively.
yeah.
Skeptical men who don't like astrology.
Yeah.
I think that people who like to feel in control of the universe and their world and themselves, and I think like I'm being stereotypical here, but like a
Yeah.
lot of men, male identified, cis men, are like, they don't want to look stupid and out of control. They want to, they're like, they want to learn about themselves, but like they
Yeah.
know that this could make me look bad. So when they see this as like an archetype or a chart, and it's kind of like seems like a tool from the business world versus this circle with all these esoteric symbols, they're out of their league there. They're
Yeah.
just at a disadvantage. So this is leveling the playing field for everyone too.
Well, it's interesting you use that word because one of the questions is how, the disadvantage and the book title is the Astrology Advantage.
Hmm.
How are we're talking about it, but I think it just all the different ways that this can be used as an advantage in your life. Because I'm for me and for couples, and by the way, I don't really give him homework. We decide it together, but I'm joking because I'm
Of
like,
course.
but not really because I'm like, read this. This would be
But
great.
if
It's
you
a
did,
great,
he would love it as an authority.
yeah, he would love
Give
it.
me
And
homework.
yeah, I mean, I'm someone who I think if you're watching, you're like me. We love to learn. We're lifelong learners. Even if you're not a Sag, we love to
Hmm.
grow and learn here. I just know it.
Yeah.
Like attracts like. So, Astrology Advantage, what are the different ways that these teachings can really be used as an advantage in life?
Yeah, because it just cuts through all the indecision. Um, in the intro, we talk about how there's a statistic that the average adult makes 35 or 38,000 decisions a day. And that's an older stat, like before TikTok and all the apps were on our phones. Probably a lot more than that right now. But imagine that. And 95% of those decisions are made with our subconscious. So we're also like walking around acting like we've got it all figured out. There's so little of the knowledge available in the universe that we actually know. So why not tap into what I call spiritual technology? Like if we're going into if consciousness and innovation and tech are expanding, then we need to be good at both. It's kind of the equal and opposite reactions. So, yeah, so that's why people need that. And it actually, the name came up when one of my very good friends, who's a woman in tech, she was like, people don't want to learn their whole charts all the time. They just want the Astrology Advantage so they can use that. It's like, ooh, that's the title. So,
Mm.
yeah. I mean, Myers Briggs, was do you know the story behind
Oh
it?
yeah.
The
With Carl.
mother-daughter from Michigan, like me. So I feel like I'm continuing their work. Like they
Oh my
followed
goodness.
Carl
Yes.
Jung, and his
Yeah.
archetypes were astrologically based. So it was kind of corporate astrology before, in a
Oh
way.
my gosh, Ovi, I did not know, and I'm like actually like certified Myers. It's just like one of the random things I don't
Yeah.
even talk about, but I didn't know that was based. I didn't realize the archetypes were based on astrology by Carl
Well,
Jung. I
there
didn't know.
is a book, not to like send people to another book, but I'm gonna, because
Yeah.
as I've been going around on a podcast tour for the last 6 months with the Astrology Advantage, I have had the delight of talking to skeptics
Yeah.
and not even a couple of cynics, but mostly
Yeah.
curious skeptics. And so I really tried to educate myself about like how to answer to people like, why is astrology not bullshit?
Yeah, that's
And
actually one of my questions for you. I mean,
yeah,
not
so
exactly like that, but for someone who's like,
yeah,
I don't get it, and that's
yeah, like
okay.
why should I actually pay attention to
Yeah.
this? They think of it. So I listened to this audio book called The Personality Brokers, and it's about the history of Myers Briggs and personality typing. There's a mother and a daughter in Lansing, Michigan. The mother discovered the work of Carl Jung and started writing erotic fiction about him, and then
I
and
did not
mailing it
learn
to
that in
him.
my training.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Hysterical.
And she and the daughter like went to go meet him in somewhere on the East Coast. He didn't have time for them, kind of had to blow them off, but it's like, I'm going to New York next. Come see me there. They went to New York and ended up meeting this guy, Charles Murray, from the Harvard Psychology School. And he was interested in typology and figuring out
Mm.
Hitler. He was trying to stop Hitler by
Mm.
understanding if he could understand a personality type of him so that they could prevent dictators from taking over. So
Mm.
they all
Mm.
met each other in this random mashup. And that's how like some of the Myers-Briggs stuff started to really take off. So we're actually
Mm.
entering the time that the Myers-Briggs thrived of Uranus and Gemini,
Mm.
2025. So anyway, tangent, but
Wow.
fascinating one.
We should do something sometime. I could come in the Myers Briggs door. I mean, I still have all my
Yeah,
training and put it together. Well, and I was
I'd
just
love to.
thinking with types, and I don't know. That's a language I have, but I didn't know about the erotic writings. That's so funny. We didn't learn that. And what's helpful I found, and I could see it with this, is it's not to pigeonhole ourselves, but to understand there's a preference. That's the
Yeah.
wording we always had was, the preference, and there's a spectrum around that preference. But to get, I've seen it, and the goal is, for example, if you have preference for extroversion, or if your preference to be a maven, maybe
Mm-hmm.
part of what I know for me, I married someone who is definitely steady Eddie routine, like legit. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he's never missed a routine. And I'm like, routine? All right.
Right.
What's the
Depends
routine?
on the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
depends on the day and the time. And it's like, okay, drawing from those aspects, and we can then, we are whole and complete, but really in how we experience life in ourselves, learning, growing.
Hmm.
So like pulling from the other types is what I'd
Yeah.
imagine is
Oh,
powerful.
totally. It's like once you're
Yeah.
like, okay, that's how they are. Let me get curious. Let me be an anthropologist and research
Yeah.
how um, this part of the population lives and understand them because we have
Yeah.
to coexist, especially as we go into this 20-year Pluto and Aquarius time. It's a time of community. So we're going to have to learn how to be different but together, that more of an and than
Mm.
an or.
Yes.
And we'll find our siloed communities, but we're not going to survive on the planet if we just do that. And
Yes.
so we need to understand each other better.
Absolutely. I have a question, because at this point, when people are listening, we're going to be soon, for those in the States, we have our new president coming. So that's
Hmm.
interesting. I'll just say it's interesting. Do we know his type? I'm just
Hmm.
curious. What
So
what
he's one of the
is
hybrids. So some people can have, I should say, like can be like 661 or 554. So if you find that it's not, if you're 445, you're not a hybrid because it's always the highest one. But if you're like equal in the two highest, then you are. So he's an innovator maven, and very low on authority, which is interesting because he's a
yeah.
bankruptcy. Like, that's why we don't really look at him as this authority. He's this renegade. It's like,
Yeah.
and he defies authority. He
Yeah.
desecrates where does Joe Biden, who's exiting, is an authority. It's
Yeah.
very strong authority. Barack Obama, I think they both had like 8. Was he an
Mm.
authority or a maven? I think he's an authority. Hillary Clinton was so,
Routine. Yeah.
here's someone who's,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, like we've been so trained to want novelty as a nation that we just want something different than what we had.
Yeah.
We, not including me, but
Right.
but apparently including a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's what we got.
Yeah, super interesting. Interesting to look from this lens, like, and get curious and like, okay, you can see,
Hmm.
so fascinating. I could go all day. I'm like, tell me about this person.
Yeah.
And well,
This
and I
is
think to bring it back home for everyone, it would be really cool to know your family, to know the people that are
Oh,
close
yeah.
around you, to know your partner, your parents, your caretakers, like whoever you're surrounded by, to know so that it can be something that you can work together. I mean, I always think like, thank God someone in this household has a strong routine, 'cause
Yeah.
I pull from it. I'm like, I do make one, but it's not my orientation. I don't think
Yeah,
about it.
without an authority in the house, you know. I mean, I had a household of two innovators, a maven, and an authority. The authority went off to college, and let's just say our meals and routines kind of
That's,
didn't function as well
yeah,
when she was gone.
that's
Hmm.
hysterical. Yeah, my kids would agree with this one. I'm curious before we kind of wrap, I do want to know, for someone listening, would you say, maybe three steps to take in terms of really starting to use this book and to use the astrology to their advantage? What would you
Yeah,
recommend? Three
I
to
would say,
five.
like on a practical level, get your time, date, and place of birth. You probably obviously know the place and date. Get your timer as close as possible, and then go to astrostyle.com/IM, put in your data, and find out which archetype you are. You can read on the website uh, about it, and then in the Astrology Advantage, we have it on Kindle, we have it on hardcover, we have it on Audible, read by me and my sister. So if you hate my voice, don't get it. If you like it, here's more. And uh and then, yeah, have everyone you know that is in your immediate vicinity do the quiz. Your team at work, your family, or do theirs. Like, guess a few people's, even if it's, not, if you don't know their birth time, you'll still see the composition. Like, the rising sign might be off, but, you'll get the idea. And the book is written for you to use it with your team too. So it's a really great. We actually have bulk rates if someone, we've been working with companies and teams and executive teams and organizations to do. We have little workshops. If you're someone who, wants to have someone come in and do like a facilitation, we do that too. I love it. I love a puzzle and making things work and making relationships work, like by just understanding what the other person needs. So if you have willing parties who want to have a working team and reduce conflict, it's really great for that. If someone just wants to have conflict, then, I don't know, you can just judge them through the pages of the book and not, but even that might help you understand, like, what are they so upset about? The maven needs to be heard or whatever. The innovator needs their ideals to be respected. The authority needs you to not be late or respect traditions.
Love it. Oh, I love it. Any way we can know ourselves better is always, to me, a plus and a bonus. And
Yeah.
because I've decided in the new year to have way more fun in all areas, I have a couple fun, just rapid fire questions that we have
Okay,
not
cool.
discussed. All
Yeah.
right. Do you have a favorite sign? And if so, what is it and why?
It changes, I'll be honest. But at the moment, I'm really liking Libras, the sign of peace. My daughter's a Libra. I'm appreciating their patient, non reactive, gentle approach to life. I think the world is in short supply of that.
Mm, beautiful. Yeah. Is there one sign that you are like, oh gosh, please no?
I mean, I have that about I could name that about every sign. So, but the one that I feel like is kind of going through it and being a little, I wish they would snap out of it, but Scorpios have been a little bit
I knew you were going to
not at
say
their
that.
highest vibration in 2024. Yeah, you notice that too. Okay. Like, what happened to you? Like, yeah, get your mojo back.
Yeah, that's great. That's so great.
Hmm.
If you could give one piece of astrology advice, what would it be?
that free will and astrology are not counter to each other, but in fact go hand in hand. To think of your astrology chart as your factory settings, and just like if you had a new appliance or phone, you can customize it as much as you want, but know your operating system and then customize away from there. So, and you'll have all the freedom you want. Knowing yourself makes you freer.
Awesome. What is one fun fact about you, Ophi, that people may not know that you're comfortable sharing?
Let me think about that. I have a photographic memory.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's wicked cool.
So if I
Wow.
met you, 20 years ago, I'd remember a bunch of details about you and your family and, your zodiac sign, which is probably creepy. Maybe it's the four planets in Scorpio, but it's not. I'm not creepy about it, but things get stuck in there.
Does Tali have the same thing? Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
That's so
Maybe
cool.
it's from just being twins and mirroring since the womb. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you're identical. So that's
Yeah.
really cool. And then lastly, so we call them heart flares. You might remember this. This is
Oh,
where
yeah.
your
Yeah.
heart flare, maybe there's something I didn't ask you, or that's just a message coming through your heart, coming through you that you would like to share.
That's a good one. Let me think about that. Or not think about it because it's not supposed to come from my
That's
mind.
okay. However it comes through you.
Yeah, just, I think it's like give people the benefit of the doubt whenever you can in this coming year. Like we've gotten
Mm,
so quick to judge and to treat people as guilty until proven innocent versus the other way around, and not based on their actions truly. Like try your best to find the humanity in someone and create a common, I think the bridge to better relationships is to create a shared intention. You may not have shared values, you may not have shared election histories or anything like that, but where might you find a common intention for a third space between you of
mm,
good and positivity where everybody feels seen and heard? It's not transactional. It's like, where can your energies become like a 1 + 1 = 3?
mm. That is beautiful. Actually, I just got this intuitive image as you said that is so I'm getting a whole body experience with what you just
Ooh,
said, like chills and honestly to me, because we started with the message for the year being the divine pendulum, if I got that correct.
yeah, yeah.
And to me, what you just said is that's how we bring the pendulum to that plumb center point is
Ooh, I love
what
that.
you just said. I saw it. I saw it go from like way up high. I hate those rides that you get at the amusement
Oh
park.
God, me too.
I
I don't
do
want to
not
be
like
on the
those.
pendulum.
No, the like pirate ship thing. I kept seeing it go
Yes.
up
Oh
both
God, the
ways.
worst.
I like it in the middle. But to get that plumb line, to get that center point, that's really beautiful because it's very easy to see where we're different and we're wired to be into the other and you're different. And but no, I
Mhm.
love what you said. Let's really, really look for common ground. Let's look for where, without judging first, without
Mhm.
passing judgment to find commonalities. And it doesn't, it might, you might have to seek for it. It
Yeah,
may
it's
not be
not
obvious.
easy. I mean, especially with
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
some of the like, and it won't be and don't you don't have to start with the hardest case. You don't have
Yeah.
to start with like a neo-Nazi on Twitter. I'm not talking about that, or X. Like,
Yeah.
that's okay. We don't have to go. We're not ready for that yet, perhaps, or nor do I want to. I'm not suggesting that. Just like someone
Yeah.
that you actually genuinely care about and would like to foster a better relationship. Like you want to start by asking yourself,
Yeah.
do I want to have this person in my life? If the
Mm.
answer is no, then like go back
Yeah.
to your list,
Yeah.
return to go, or do not
Mm.
pass go rather. And then just start with someone that you actually do want to have in your life who
Yeah.
you may have some fundamental differences. It could be a parent, a child, something like that. But like,
Yeah.
and then see if they're willing. They have to be willing to participate. It cannot be a one-sided thing either.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. To get the pendulum in the center. Something that helps me a lot is just with someone that might be way in a different spaces like bless and release. Like this
Mhm.
is, may they find their way. I don't think it's the same way. We're just going to bless and release. I love what you said. And also the reminder, we do have free will and these are tools. And so we get to choose at all times and we can find, I keep seeing this image of the pendulum going in the center, like almost in your heart. And we can choose to have that pendulum. I just have to hold mine up again. I feel like it's so on point. Like it can go like that
Yeah.
based on our choices and what you're teaching and sharing in your books. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you
Of
so
course.
much.
Just
Yeah.
reminded me to give a shout out to Pound Jewelry, Pound, where they actually have pendulum necklaces that can sit right on your heart. So that might be a good
Ooh,
thing if you're looking for your own divine pendulum for the year. Like, yeah, I have a
beautiful.
few, and I need that, I'll put it on. So then
So
take it off and
funny.
swing it.
Yes, I love it. I often wear one, and today I didn't, and I have one right here. It's like wet ready. So we're in
Love that.
sync. And
As always.
as always, Sages and all of our beautiful listeners, the community listening to this at any time, we just, as always, want to send love to you, light to you, remind you that you, first of all, definitely get into the Astrology Advantage and get your type. Let us know. I know I respond to all comments, especially on YouTube. It's really fun. What are you? Did it resonate? I will keep you updated, Ophi
Yeah,
and
let me know. I
Tali.
can jump in and answer
Yeah,
any
this is so
question. Yeah.
fun. I want to know like who, like what are you? Do you resonate with it? So fun. And thank you for being your UST, your innovator, right?
Yeah.
Innovator
Uh-huh.
selves, you and Deli,
Yep.
and for the work you're doing. This to me, this is adding such goodness, such depth of getting to love and in ourselves and be more empowered. And I'm always anything that can be empowering. That's what we're up to here. So
It's the only idea here. So thank you
yeah.
for doing that yourself in the world.
Thank you. The true maven in me. Now I'm like, that's why.
Yes,
Who knew?
totally.
Yes. Oh
Well,
my
now
gosh.
you do.
Now
Yeah.
I know. Thank you. Thank you. So much love to you. And we're gonna send love to everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy
We
New
are
Year.
wishing you a blessed year ahead. May you find the center point of the pendulum in your heart and
Love it.
really make sure you make the choices that are going to come from a place of empowerment and love. And as Ophi said, you have free choice and free will. So use these tools to bless yourself and others. Yay. Thank you, Ophi.
Thank you.
Hey, USG listener, this is still Julie. I'm grateful to still be here with you. I just wanted to share a couple things with you. Number one, first, Happy New Year. Wishing you the best, most blessed, and bright and beautiful New Year. I'm so grateful to be part of your spiritual journey, your awakening, to be here with you. We have some amazing interviews already lined up for this year, and hopefully, you got so much from this incredible conversation about the Astrology Advantage. I want to share with you if you are looking to really take your relationship with yourself, to build trust in yourself and your intuition, to stop the self doubt and fear from keeping you on the sidelines, from becoming, going from being a waiter to becoming a creator in your life. And you would like to learn how to help others to do the same as an intuitive life coach. I'm about to open the doors to my 12th cohort. I've been teaching this work for over a decade. I'm a professor at Georgetown University. You may not know this, in their health and wellness coaching program. And I also have my own intuitive life coaching certification program. It is profound. It's life-changing. If you're interested, go check it out at juliereisler.com/certification. If you have questions or you'd like to chat about it, or you're just like not sure, but you're feeling inclined, you don't know if you want to do this or anything, find me. You can email me directly at julie@juliereisler.com. That is my email. Yes, I'm sharing it here. Feel free to reach out if you would like to set a time to chat. We start at the very end of January. There are still some spots available. I do keep it intimate. It's a very powerful, sacred experience. You will get mastery in becoming a coach, a life coach, intuitive life coach, but also in really learning how to trust and love yourself and how to make decisions from a place of empowerment. It's a game changer because, of course, you are changing the relationship with yourself and all those around you. So I'm going to end there and just say, love you. I'm grateful to be on the path. And if you're interested, leaning in, check it out, juliereisler.com. certification. And as always, so grateful to be here with your Youest You. Lots of love.